Hello, everybody. It's me, Ross, and welcome to another video. Today, I'm joined by Sam from United People TV to discuss Kieran McKenna, the new Ipswich Town boss. Sam, thank you very much for joining me. It's time to get some insight, lowdown on Kieran. First of all, just your immediate reaction on Kieran joining Town as the new Town boss. What was your thoughts when you saw that news?
Kind of broke yesterday as a bit of a surprise, really. We obviously under Solskjaer we had Michael Carrick and he's resigned after the Arsenal game. We had Kieran McKenna who was there as well, and now he's left and he's taken Martin Pert with him. We all expected there to be sort of wholesale changes with the coaching staff when Ralph Rangnick came into Manchester United. But I don't think anybody actually expected Kieran McKenna to leave in a similar sort of way that we didn't expect Michael Carrick to leave. But it seems like both of them have sort of taken the decision themselves rather than Manchester United forcing them out the door. They've both gone on to do what they wanted to do. And I don't think McKenna could really have turned down managing Ipswich. I genuinely wish the best of luck to him.
And I've been reading, I've been watching. There's been a lot of mixed reviews from Town fans as well, but also Man United fans, mixed reviews on Kieran McKenna. What was your feelings around him? Of course, he progressed through the under-18s and became assistant under Mourinho. What are the feedback and insights from Kieran?
Kieran McKenna I think because he was a member of Solskjaer's staff, he's guilty by association in terms of what happened under Solskjaer. The fact of the matter is that I don't think really United must have. We didn't improve in the training ground for like a couple of years, and that was under sort of Solskjaer took the general manager role, kind of hands off, sitting in the office, letting Kieran McKenna was one of the people who really led the coaching sessions, and sort of anybody who's worked with McKenna has always said that he's always well respected as a coach. He's very studious, he's very meticulous, attention to detail. He's good at working with. We know he's good with working with youngsters, but whether or not he's sort of, I think McKenna was thrown into the deep end at United. Basically, Rui Faria left as Mourinho's assistant manager, and Mourinho was like, "Crap, I need an assistant." So then he promoted from within, and he got Carrick up there, and he got McKenna. And I don't think McKenna went from being an under-18s coach to all of a sudden being Jose Mourinho's assistant manager. Like the jump in that is ridiculous. I think it was a case of sink or swim. I don't think he sunk, but he didn't really come out of it with too much praise. But the fact of the matter is that when it comes to coaches, none of us know what they do, right? The only way you can judge whether they're successful or not is by how the team is playing on the pitch. And that's what I mean about McKenna, guilty by association. But he's kind of known as like a schoolmasterly coach. He's quite disciplined. That's his methods of working, and that's probably why it worked with the under-18s, with the younger kids, because they're sort of more malleable in terms of that. Walking into a dressing room in Manchester United, we've got Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, and sort of the elite top level. It's tougher. I don't know what Ipswich's situation is, but it will be. I hope it works out for him. I think he's 35, and for him to get a full-time job in a football league club such as Ipswich, it could be a big. It's a big risk from Ipswich, no doubt it's a risk, but it's a risk from McKenna at the same time. I don't think he was going to get sacked by United. I think he could have happily just stayed as Rangnick's assistant, but maybe only for the next 6 months, because remember, he's on an interim basis, so he might have been sacked in the summer anyway.
Yeah, and of course, it's a big risk, as you said. Town fans are excited because it is a new approach. He's a modern coach. What should we expect from Kieran McKenna? As you said, we don't really know what some of these coaches actually do. We know they take some of the training and results are results. So should Town fans be excited with McKenna, the appointment? He's 35, as you said. There's a few managers who have, well, a big one. Jose Mourinho was never a professional footballer, and he's done what he's done. And Kieran McKenna is going to go through that transition where he fortunately got injured when he was younger, when he was at Spurs, but he's had to go through that process, academy football, and now first team Man United. He will be, of course, coaching not as good of players, from Paul Pogba and Ronaldo to the current Ipswich Town in League One, currently 12th in League One, so it's not been great. But what can we expect, and should we be excited?
I think you should be excited, to be honest. I think McKenna, yeah, he's one of those younger coaches who's come through, as you said, because he had injuries in his playing career and he went straight into coaching. It's his way of playing football, because he can't actually physically play football. And when we signed him from Spurs, this is what I don't really understand about the sort of. I've seen some United fans, certainly after Solskjaer was sacked, just basically sort of slander against Rangnick's name. Not Rangnick, sorry, against McKenna's name. Maybe that's the wrong way to describe it, but they gave him no credit for the sort of good work that he did with the under-18s, won the Northern Premier Division with our under-18s, was massively, massively highly rated with Spurs' under-18s, and that's why we signed him in the first place. So in terms of, they're the only times he's been actual manager. But other than that, he's been following someone else's instructions. And the proof is in the pudding, as I said. And the football under Mourinho, well, you know what that was like at United, and the football under Solskjaer, well, you saw how up and down that was. So there's not really much of a sample pool that you can pull from, because it's been that long since he's been in charge of the players. But he must feel like he's ready for it. And I do wish him the best of luck. I think it probably suits United as well, because it means that Ralph Rangnick can bring in another sort of assistant manager who works in his sort of system. But I don't know what football you're going to play. I've got absolutely no idea what football you'll play. I think it will be a product of the squad that you've got. And if you're 12th right now in League One, then it's just going to be sort of, what's Ipswich's ambitions, you think, this season with McKenna coming in?
Well, of course, in the summer, many Town fans were looking for promotion. We signed 19, and I say that again, 19 new signings in the summer. That's a lot. And of course, it took a while for them to gel. Then we had a nice little period of winning games. And then, of course, it went downhill, and then Paul Cook got sacked. Paul Cook has got experience of getting promotion from this league, but it just didn't work out. So at the moment, I've said on video, and I'll eat, many Jaffa cakes and stuff just to say that the season is dead, because that's what I feel like, the season's dead. So this is just time for Kieran to bed in his ideas, his philosophy, just the play he wants to play and work with the players he's got. He's got a January transfer window, so he's got a time there. But, I don't know if there'll be a lot of pressure on him to get promoted, but, do you think that will be a big thing for him? It's going to be his first job, as you said, and it's pressure that if we don't get into the playoffs, I don't know what fans will think. But for me, I'm just saying, give him time and just trust him.
I imagine he'll probably want to go for a playoff. Surely you want to go for a playoff push. If you sign 19 players in the summer and you sack someone in December, that's the intention is there. Okay, this season's not dead just yet. There's enough time for us to turn it around. And McKenna will no doubt back himself. As I said, he's somebody who, it's a bit like we signed a new coach, for example, Chris Armas. We signed him from New York Red Bulls, and he absolutely flopped as a manager. Got sacked after like 6 months at Toronto, and he had mixed reviews from his time at New York Red Bulls. But he was a very, very well-respected coach, and people say he's an extremely good coach. Now, I don't know whether Kieran McKenna was the best coach in the world, but his experience as a manager being in charge of a team, as I said, he did well with the under-18s, but it really is just a stab in the dark. No one really knows how good or bad Kieran McKenna is going to be. And realistically, United fans, we don't know that much about him. He's never really given interviews. He's never really been the man to sort of be in front of the camera. It's just McKenna's been part of the staff under a couple of managers, and you don't really know what's going on. But the only thing that United fans would say is that there's been mistakes in our squad, in our football, in our set-piece play, in our defending, in our midfield play that have been there for so long. And McKenna and Carrick and whoever else was on our coaching staff, they were never able to improve on those mistakes. They just kind of kept repeating themselves. And I don't know whether that was down to Solskjaer's overall approach to training, whether that was down, because that's the problem. You don't know who was at fault and where the problem happened. But McKenna is young enough that he can go out and sort of forge his own career. I think he'll do well. I don't know whether he'll be able to push for a promotion, but I'll be interested to see how he can actually become the manager and start dealing with professionals like adults, if you know what I mean. The only experience he's got is with kids, and he's been successful, but that's only the stepping stone. You've got to go and do it as a manager. I hope it works out for him, but I know he wants some real insight from me. But the fact of the matter is, hardly any United fan really knows much about anything McKenna did, and nobody does. So it's just a massive risk from Ipswich. But hey, if it wasn't working out with Paul Cook, then why not?
Definitely. And the final thing to say on this, really, and get some final notes on you as well. The last time we had a connection with Man United, and it was called Roy Keane, and we all know how that went. But I think this is a whole different scenario. There won't be a media circus. It will just be his first job. Just let him do what he can do, and we'll see from that. But can you remember those days when Roy Keane was the town manager? And it was a mess, weren't it?
Was it? How long did he last there?
About a year and a half, something like that. I think he came in 2009. I think he left early January 2011. So yeah,
it's kind of Roy Keane as manager, isn't it? You look at what happened at Sunderland. You look at what happened with Ireland as well when he was the assistant, and he's just He's the king of chaos. He's hilarious. To be fair,
Yeah.
he's hilarious. But if you're on Roy Keane's side, it's a good wave. It's a good ride. If you're not, you're kind of banging your head against a brick wall. And that's just kind of same with his punditry at the moment. That is Roy Keane. I mean, obviously, I love him as a player, but yeah, I'm not sure about him as a coach or a manager.
Definitely. And well, Sam, thank you very much for joining me. Thanks for the insight and lowdown. As you said, he's one of those coaches where you just don't know what he does, but then also he's there in the picture. But we look forward to an exciting time, hopefully, under Kieran. Let us know in the comments down below your thoughts. And I'll be back for another video very soon. Bye-bye for now.